We are the Big Joe and Laura Show on Mix 95.7 Grand Rapids Best Mix. Welcome to Monday, June 10th, 2024. Laura, welcome back. You were gone for a couple of days. Glad to have you back.
Yeah, it's glad to be back. I did a lot of traveling, spent a lot of time in my car, saw a lot of stuff. It was a lot. A lot happened. It was a good time, though.
Where were you at? Like, what were you doing?
Well, I originally started off as a weekend trip home to visit family for the first time with little baby Justin in a long time. But it evolved into a trip to CMA Fest also because I'm from near Nashville, and James got a last-minute invite to kind of be included in all that. So we got to do some of that, and it was crazy, but it was really the more important part was getting to see Justin and my family really get to interact a lot for the first time because he's starting to get a lot of personality, and he got to meet my cousins and a bunch of other people, and it was just, I don't know, it's really kind of nice you forget about how important family is until you're really around them again, and you're like, oh man, this is just such an important connection that I wish I got to have a little bit more. But I'm very thankful for my in-laws and their family because they really do kind of keep us grounded here in West Michigan too.
How old is Justin now, your son?
7 months today.
So that's probably been 6 or 7 months since a lot of your family saw him?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's been 6 months. He was home.
That's a lot of change.
Right before New Year's Eve, we were home, and so big changes, and he's just got so much personality, and he was such a good guy in the car. He did a really good job on the very long 7-hour drive. So it just, my heart's very full after all of that. And I got into some shenanigans that we'll talk about later today that I think I might have gotten my husband in some trouble, but I'm not sure yet. So.
Again? Or no, is this something new?
Oh, something entirely new.
All right. Well, for me, I had a great weekend too. I saw my wife Lindsay a little bit this weekend. Most of the time she was doing stuff was Festival of the Arts. We'll talk more about that, but that was a cool event this weekend. But before that, I took off Friday as well. Went and saw Collective Soul and Hootie and the Blowfish. They were at Pine Knob on Thursday.
Oh.
What an awesome show. It was so nostalgic. I actually knew more of the Collective Soul, like their songs from back in the day than I did.
They're one of those bands you don't realize how many of their songs you know, and you're like, oh man, yeah.
So, but it was so cool. Darius Rucker, if you think of him now as the country singer, way back in the day, if you didn't know, Hootie and the Blowfish, so many iconic songs, and they did so many great covers. Just, it was really, I don't know, I'm really starting to appreciate the Laura and James thing of go to the concerts because, man, there's just so much great music out there.
Yeah, life's too short. Go to the concert. You'll sleep when you're dead.
That was almost like my little win. We'll talk more about that. But if you have something that was happening over this past weekend, we'd love for you to share about it. You can be part of the show at 616-600-0957. Let's get this Monday going, though, all right? It's Big Joe and Laura here on Mix 95.7.
It's time for Big Joe and Laura's Need to Know News on Mix 95.7.
We're thinking this morning of the Grand Rapids Festival of the Arts community. They announced on Sunday that their former executive director, David Abbott, had passed away after his 7th battle with cancer. That's insane. Abbott led the festival in 2019 and resigned in 2021 to focus on his 6th fight with cancer. Services will be held at Westminster Presbyterian Church in Grand Rapids on June 16th at 3 p.m.
A group of Calvin University swim team members spent 2 weeks in Thailand this spring teaching English, water survival skills, and CPR, which is great on its own. But they had no idea that they would end up using these skills at the airport on their next trip. The students were on a mission to help others in Thailand when they heard commotion and someone yelling for medical help in the airport. And Nathan and Ryan, 2 of the students, quickly ran to a man who had collapsed. And they're like, well, we got to do what we got to do. So they started CPR along with another man. And thanks to them, the guy ended up being entirely okay.
That's awesome. Not only the work they did over in Thailand, but on their way home, saving a life. That's great.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. These students definitely deserve a shout out. And just a friendly reminder, learn CPR. You never know when you could be the person that saves someone else.
And for your final Need to Know news story, we're heading to Utah, where just a day before their wedding, a young couple was transporting their king-size mattress to their new home. The bride-to-be, Lydia, tried to lay on it to keep it in place in the back of their truck. Oh boy, this is where things get a little questionable. They hit 55 miles per hour, and then this happened.
I just remember the feeling of the mattress just going in the air, and I was like, I'm flying, what is happening? I just remember screaming.
Are they insane?
Yeah, they didn't think that one out. Lydia chipped her front tooth, got some nasty road rash, but she ended up thankfully being okay. And if you're wondering, yeah, they still got married the next day.
Oh my gosh, I would have been I think this is a sign to walk away from this relationship. Do not let a man use you as a strap for the mattress. mattress. Come on.
Unless she weighed more than he did, then maybe that would make sense just to keep it down.
No, buy a ratchet strap. They're not that expensive.
That is Big Joe and Laura's Need to Know News on Mix 95.7. Mix 95.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix. We are Big Joe and Laura, and I listen to the radio probably more than anybody else, but I don't listen to it for the music. I love commercials, Laura, and yesterday I started texting him like, there are so many awesome jingles. I'm just singing along to commercials.
Yeah, well, we want to know what commercial jingle, TV, or radio gets stuck in your head or has been stuck in your head for years. We would love to hear from you. Again, 616-600-0957, or you can DM it to us in the Mix 95.7 app. Joe, what commercial lives rent-free in your head?
I would say that this one is way back in the day. I used to see it all the time as a kid when I was watching TV.
Well, I was shopping for a new car. Which one's me? A cool convertible
Free credit
or an
report,
SUV?
baby.
Too bad I didn't know my credit was whack, because now I'm driving off the lot in a used subcompact. F-R-E-E, that spells free. CreditReport.com, baby.
I mean,
Let me tell you, I didn't know what a used subcompact was as a child, but I knew every lyric to that commercial.
I know. It really was educational. They did a great job. What about you, Laura?
Okay, so we don't play these commercials on our station, but I know you've heard them across the board because they're like a plague. They're everywhere. But my last station I used to work at, we played them all the time. And it's that O'Reilly Auto Parts Out jingle that they play on their commercials.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I can't tell you how many times I've out at people like at work and stuff, and they always know that's exactly what I'm referencing. And it lives rent free in my head forever.
No, that one, I can't get it out of there either. But I'm fine with it. I actually like that one.
Now, this is what I hear on our station all the time, and you've probably heard it before too, but it does get stuck in my head. Anytime I see one of their yard signs around, there's somebody in my neighborhood, Alger Heights, that has a yard sign for this service. And I'm always like, I sing the jingle in my head every single time, but it's that Service Professor jingle.
Service Professor will fix it in a snap.
It's like every single day I drive down my street and I'm Service Professor. It's one of the best ones. That one's from Kelsey and Kentwood. And then we've got Audrina in Rockford. And this is one that if you're a millennial and you were sick at home from school or maybe after school watching commercials, you probably heard this even though you had no idea what it was for.
I have a structured settlement and I need cash now.
Everybody!
Call J.G. Whitford, 877 cash now. I didn't know what a structured settlement was.
I finally know what an annuity is, but I don't fully understand it.
It's for people who basically sue people and they want their money earlier than it's going to pay out. So it's almost like a loan service. Do not use it, probably. If it even exists anymore, it's probably not good. It's kind of a scam. But, man, what a banger. But we want to hear more of yours and play a few of yours. You can DM it to us in the Mix 95.7 app or give us a call at 616-600-0957.
Big Joe and Laura on Mix 95.7 talking about some of our favorite TV commercials, radio commercials, just any one of those jingles that gets stuck in your head and you sing along.
We've got Romy from Grand Rapids on the line. What's yours?
Jake from State Farm.
Oh, Jake from State Farm. I think every man in a red shirt is Jake from State Farm at this point.
And I have a manager where I work at Maya, and his name is Jake. So the first thing when I met him, I told him, "Hey, Jake from State Farm, what are you wearing?"
Romy, you're amazing. Thank you for calling us this morning.
Okay, thank you. You guys are awesome.
We've also got some DMs that we've gotten inside the Mix 95.7 app, including Ashley in Zealand, who this one, again, millennials, you're going to know this one way better. It's one of those, you were sick home from school or maybe after school, you saw this one pretty frequently. But do you remember Education Connection?
Education Connection, match me with the right college for free.
Oh, yeah.
Get connected for free.
What?
With Education Connection.
Get connected for free!
With Education
Side note, too, I thought she was pretty hot. I'm like, oh gosh. Like,
I mean, and you didn't even go to college, though, so it didn't even work on you.
But it almost did, though, because I was like, well, I have a 1.8 GPA. What am I going to do?
What am I going to do? I got to get my Education Connection. All right, our coworker, Wendy, who's going to be filling in for me coming up in a few weeks when I go on maternity leave.
Yeah.
She's got an iconic one. I was not around when these commercials were on, but it's definitely a Grand Rapids one. Do you remember the commercials for the Beltline bar?
Oh, my God. Yeah, they still... This one?
The Beltline Bar's famous Mexican Cafe. It's the great taste of Mexico right in your neighborhood.
I love that one. It's a banger with a little saxophone at the end.
I just want to join the Beltline Bar band because I'm sure they recorded it there in the kitchen.
Let me play saxophone for them. I can.
Oh, I just want to be the horn.
That's the saxophone.
Oh, that is?
Yeah.
I thought it was a clown horn, like.
No, it's a baritone saxophone honking in and out. It drove me insane at first, but I absolutely love it now, and I do sing it around the house, and my husband sings it as well. But the Modernistic commercials always stuck in my head.
Modernistic, simple and quick. We're the first with experience and quality.
Yes, clean my house, Modernistic. Immediately, I'm in. And Carla in Grand Rapids, this one is one that will live rent-free in my head until I die. It will always be playing somewhere in the back. Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
I'll always think of it. If you've got one to share with us, we'd love to hear from you. 616-600-0957.
Big Joe's Little Wins on Mix 95.7. A chance to brag about something awesome in your life or maybe somebody you know at 616-600-0957. Bottom line, Laura, we're just trying to share the good news and spread the positivity.
Absolutely. Joe, do you have any little wins of your own today?
My little win is actually a brag on my wife, and I'm hoping more people will brag on their partners too this morning. My wife, Lindsay, was volunteering at Festival of the Arts. She was running the merchandise tent. Since the pandemic, everything took a hit, right?
Absolutely.
She, on Saturdays, like, we are in the black. Like, they did good with sales. We're so good with selling stuff. So shout out to everybody that came out, bought something for Festival of the Arts, and all the amazing volunteers. Laura, you and I know it because we see it, but so many people make these great community events that are free happen.
Absolutely. A shout out to all of them, and a big shout out to your wife, Lindsay.
Laura, you were off Thursday and Friday. Any little wins happened since I saw you last?
Well, since we're shouting out spouses, my husband got invited to go down to CMA Fest, which is like the biggest week in country music. He got a lot of really exclusive interviews, got to meet some really important people, and it was a really big opportunity for him, and I'm just super proud of him for making the most of it and hopefully growing his brand even more.
Let's say good morning to Anna in Wyoming. Hey, what's your little win?
Guys, I got a new job after years of being miserable at this job that I was at, the worst hours. I finally got my dream job.
Yay! Not to the terrible job, but a new one. Woo!
So what are you doing now?
I am working as an admin at a school district.
Ooh, okay, so you get to help kiddos, but without being a teacher and being in the trenches. Honestly, that feels like the right place to be inside a school.
Yeah, it is. I used to work at a grocery store, and it just was taking, obviously, time away from my kids, from my husband, and it just was mentally draining and physically draining, and I just felt like I could do more in this world.
That is so cool, Anna. We are so excited for you and your little win, although this feels kind of like a big win in my opinion, because if you're getting out of a job you hate, that is the biggest win you could possibly have.
Thank you, guys. I love you guys so much. I love listening to you every morning. You just make my day.
Well, that's what I was going to wonder. It's like this new job doesn't affect you getting to hear us, right?
Yeah, you're still hanging out with us, right?
No.
Good.
No, I'll be listening to you on my way to work.
Well, we love it. Anna in Wyoming, thanks for being part of Big Joe's Little Wins.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Come on, share your little wins with us, West Michigan, just like Anna in Wyoming did. 616-600-0957. You can call us in the Mix 95.7 app, send a DM, or if you want to send a voice memo, you could do that too. I'm really hoping that Laura can do what she says she can do with her taste buds. Hey, it's Big Joe and Laura on Mix 95.7.
I don't like the way that sounded, but last week we were talking about things that are name brand that you just cannot do the off-brand version of, and mine is Heinz ketchup. I can't stand it. I can tell the difference even when it's in those little packets, and I'm like, nope, this is not the right thing. Ugh.
Heinz is probably the best ketchup. I'll agree with you if that's what you're saying, but yeah. I feel like other ketchups aren't that bad. You could choke them down.
No, I cannot. And so basically, Tyler in Grand Haven sent us a DM in the Mix 95.7 app and said, prove it. Prove that you can tell the difference. So today we are having the ultimate Big Joe and Laura ketchup off.
Ketchup off.
That's our jingle. I've got 3 flavors of ketchup here.
Careful, it's a sliding everywhere.
Yeah, there
you go. Careful. Seriously.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Well, okay. Ketchup one slid a little bit. That was not great. So
should have put these in bowls. So Laura, you got something to dip these in because we don't. I don't have French fries.
I've got Popcorners snack things from the vending machine. They're kind of like Doritos without flavor. So without further ado, I'm going to try each one of these ketchups, 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to see if I can tell which one of these is Heinz. What are the other two brands? Is there like a store brand? Am I allowed to know what's in here?
I was thinking, since you're such a pro,
I can't tell what the other ones are.
I'm not going to tell you. So
Okay.
you guess 1, then 2, then 3, and I will go over the results.
All right, so I'm going to try number
This video,
1.
by the way, is going to be up soon on our Big Joe and Laura Instagram and on our
TikTok.
Facebook and TikTok. So make sure you follow along on social media.
All right, here we go. Here's number 1. This ketchup, that is not Heinz ketchup.
Okay. Well, if you had to guess, what do you think it is?
Red Gold, maybe.
Okay.
Not totally sure there. It's not Heinz, though. All right. Number 2.
This smells way too ketchupy in here. I got to be honest. I'm not really a fan of this.
That's a maybe.
2
That's
is
a maybe.
Okay.
Here's a maybe. I'm going to try 3 first.
Okay.
All right. So here's ketchup number 3.
Who's taking a big dip of this one?
Yeah, no, I got to be able to tell.
I'm trying to see if there's any. Oh no, she's rolling her eyes.
It's ketchup 2.
You think ketchup 2 is Heinz?
I'm 85% sure ketchup 2 is Heinz. It's got the sweetness to it. Ketchup 3 could be it. I don't think it is. 1 is definitely not it. So which of the 3 ketchups is Heinz?
The Heinz ketchup that you're such an expert at and you can identify it out of a lineup
Yeah.
is number 2.
I did it! I told you! Suck it, internet!
She is a ketchup queen, ladies and gentlemen. The other ones for funsies here,
Yeah.
you got one all over the place, almost on your laptop.
I know, I almost dumped it on myself.
That is the Meyer brand of ketchup.
I mean, it's decent. It would do in a pinch.
Number 2, as we went over, is Heinz, your favorite.
My fave.
And number 3, I'm not a big fan of it. If somebody wants it here, we can give it to you after the show. I got a full can of Red Gold.
I knew Red Gold had to be in there. It always is. That
How does Heinz corner the market? Because they're the only real good ketchup, right? There's no other comparables.
crack. It's got to be crack. That's the only answer. So
I thought that was Coke, but okay.
It's time to play Laura Can't Lose on Mix 95.7. Here's how it happens. You'll have 1 minute to answer 5 questions. You can pass if you need to, and we'll come back if time allows. A tie goes to Laura because, well, her name's on the show. Here's who's playing Laura Can't Lose today.
Hopefully she had a good weekend. Returning to play Laura Can't Lose is Ange in Hudsonville.
welcome back, Ange.
Good morning. Had a wonderful weekend. Hope you did too.
I did. I was sweating a little when I left here Friday because you did so well. You had me right at the last second to where we tied. So I'm a little nervous that you're going to come back and snipe that $90 worth of Michigan Lottery tickets that are up for grabs, the highest jackpot we've had to date.
Amazing. I'll
right.
do my best.
Well, yeah, you're going to do great. Just go ahead and kick Laura out so we can start the game.
All right, Laura, go get some coffee.
Adios.
I made decaf today. Maybe it'll bring her down, but don't say anything. All right, she's out of the room now. Question number 1 for you. Jack and Meg White are members of what band famous for the song Seven Nation Army?
Oh, man, I got to pass on that one.
Question 2. Breaking Dawn and Midnight Sun are books from this novel series.
Twilight.
Question 3. In what city can you find the French Quarter?
That is Mardi Gras. New Orleans.
Question 4. What is the name of Michael Jackson's signature dance move?
Moonwalk.
Question 5. What is the substance that gives human skin, hair, and nails their color?
Pigment.
Question number 1 again. Jack and Meg White are the members of what band famous for the song Seven Nation Army?
Is it the White Stripes?
I'm going to bring Laura in. Okay, Laura, you get to take on Ange again today, and it's going to be deja vu as to Friday because she got 4 out of 5 right.
Okay, so I got to get all 5 right to win. Got
Yep.
it.
Okay, here we go. Question 1. Jack and Meg White are members of what band famous for the song Seven Nation Army?
Detroit's own the White Stripes.
That's correct. 1-1. Question 2. Breaking Dawn and Midnight Sun are books from this novel series.
Twilight.
What? You bummed?
Yeah, I don't like the Twilight movies. My husband does, and I'm
That is correct. You both got that right. 2-2 going into question 3. In what city can you find the French Quarter?
That would be New Orleans.
That is
Nolans.
correct.
You're from
Have
the
you
South?
guys ever been to New Orleans? My wife Lindsay really wants to go.
No, I have not. I've always wanted to.
What about you, Ange? I feel like you were down there screaming.
Nope, I've never been either.
Sure.
She's like, I don't go for the beads.
Yeah. Show up to Anne's house. There's a whole room full of beads. Okay, well, true or not, 3-3 going to question 4. What is the name of Michael Jackson's signature dance move?
The moonwalk.
That is correct. 4-4, tie game, going to question 5.
No pressure.
Laura, what is the substance that gives human skin, hair, and nails their color?
Is it melanin?
It is melanin, yes!
No! So sorry, Ange. I can't believe I knew that.
Wow, Laura wins today 5-4, which means our Michigan Lottery jackpot's now up to $95. Ange in Hudsonville, it's been great having you on, but you know what you got to do now, right?
Oh, it's Ange in Hudsonville, and Laura refuses to lose.
I like that version. Let's change it.
Wow, the jackpot's up to $95, Laura.
Yeah, I cannot believe it. So listen, if you think you can get it before it gets to 100, come and get it. 616-600-0957.
It's time for Big Joe and Laura's Need to Know News on Mix 95.7.
Brand Steakhouse and Grill is set to close their longtime home on Leonard, just west of US 131 in GR, for what's being called a transformational new project. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. This is crazy. They're going to demolish the building that restaurant's been in for 50 years.
That's kind of a bummer. I like that building.
I know. I think it looks really cool when you drive right off 131. You can see it. Now, the new development is still undergoing planning, but they're saying it eventually will probably be a 5-story building that's going to house retail shops, a restaurant, and several apartments. They're almost saying it's going to be like the welcoming to the west side. So I do love the west side of Grand Rapids. I can't wait to see what they do with it.
So you've probably seen them out there, but if you do, don't give them money. There are panhandlers who've been appearing at a lot of locations around the city this past week, looking for donations, claiming they need money for a funeral, expenses for a child in their family who died a few days ago.
I just saw these people and I was wondering if this is real or not because they were on every single corner, identical signs.
Yep, no, it's not real. So don't fall for it. The photo is of a child who was murdered back in 2018 in Spain. It has nothing to do with them. They've just found this photo and they're using it.
Oh, what turds.
But yeah, they've been spotted at a bunch of major intersections throughout Grand Rapids and Holland, including like 28th Street and Eastern, right next to where I live, on the Beltline. They've been all over the place. Walker, Leonard, I mean, all over the place. So if you see them, yes, the Grand Rapids Police Department is aware of them, but you can report them to the non-emergency line. Do not call 911. It is not that kind of emergency, but you can call their non-emergency line and let them know, and they can hopefully get them to skedaddle on their way.
And for your final Need to Know news story, we head to the Wheel of Fortune. On Friday, longtime host Pat Sajak said goodbye.
It's been an incredible privilege to be invited into millions of homes, night after night, year after year, decade after decade. And I've always felt that the privilege came with a responsibility to keep this daily half hour a safe place for family fun. No social issues, no politics, nothing embarrassing, I hope, just a game. But gradually it became more than that. A place where kids learned their letters, where people from other countries honed their English skills, where families came together along with friends and neighbors and entire generations. What an honor to have played even a small part in all that. Thank you for allowing me into your lives.
Oh, what a bummer. He's like the last of the Mount Rushmore of TV hosts.
Starting in the fall, who's replacing him? Well, Ryan Seacrest. Doesn't that guy have enough jobs? Come on, Ryan.
Save one for the rest of us, buddy.
That is Big Joe and Laura's Need to Know News on Mix 95.7. It's Big Joe and Laura on Mix 95.7. I don't know if I should be even allowed to talk about this because this is definitely a pet peeve of mine. This lady went online and she posted a video that has a lot of people upset. She says, you know what? If you see me at a store, I'm not going to be doing this.
I'm not returning my shopping cart. And you can judge me all you want. I'm not getting my groceries into my car, getting my children into the car, and then leaving them in the car to go return the cart.
Okay, now, there's probably a reason why, right? Well, this is why she says she will not do that.
Last year, 265 children were abducted in parking lots in America. Half of those were sexually assaulted. As a single mom returning your shopping cart, you are prime for a predator to watch and grab you.
Okay, so Laura and I hearing this, we were wondering, parents in West Michigan, do you fall in the same boat as her? Or do you say, yeah, I got kids. that cart's staying where it's at. Or are you actually going to go and return the thing?
No, I'm returning my cart. I'm not a spaz. 616-600-0957. I say this with all of the disrespect humanly possible. Bum. That is bum energy. I cannot stand it when people don't take the shopping cart back. And listen, I shop with my now, as of today, 7-month-old baby all the time. We go to Target, we go to Walmart, we go to Meijer. We wander around town all we want. But you know what? My car has locking doors. His car seat is incredibly difficult to get in and out of. So I'm not really concerned about the literally less than 30 seconds it takes me to push the cart over to the corral. And if you're really concerned about it, park next to the corral, and then you don't have to go any amount of distance. In fact, if you park right next to it, you could probably just do it from the back end of your car. Just, a little over, slide it, bam, you're in. Like, it's just so simple. And I give a pass to anybody with any sort of disability or anything possible that keeps you from taking the cart back. I'm not here to shame you for that. But if you're just saying, I'm worried someone will take they're not going to, it's not, no, we're not doing this, no.
I agree with you. That's more the exception to the rule, and there's always that in life. Of course, there's going to be somebody like, well, what about me for this? Yes, of course, that's different. There's a pass for that. But in general, I actually kind of agree with you. I'd be curious to know if anybody agrees with this woman, because she's like, I'm not alone. I know there's other people that are in the same boat as me.
I know there are other people that are using this as an excuse, just like me. Please validate me. So seriously, do you have a good reason why you leave that cart out at the middle of the parking lot? Or are you like me and you're going around? I actually pick up other people's carts and put them in the corral because it drives me insane. So my son's probably sitting in the car more vulnerable for longer because you left your cart out and didn't take your kid. So if my kid gets snatched, it's your fault for not taking your cart back. That's where I'm taking this. 616-600-0957. Do you take the shopping cart back, or do you leave it in the middle of the parking lot when you're a parent by yourself? For Big Joe and Laura on Mix 95.7.
Good morning. It is Big Joe and Laura on Mix 95.7. Grand Rapids Best Mix. Moms and dads are divided after this one mom posted online saying, look, you expect me to return a shopping cart? Yeah, with my kid, yeah, right.
I'm not returning my shopping cart, and you can judge me all you want. I'm not getting my groceries into my car, getting my children into the car, and then leaving them in the car to go return the cart.
Okay, now there's got to be a reason why. Well, this is what she said.
Last year, 265 children were abducted in parking lots in America. Half of those were sexually assaulted. As a single mom returning your shopping cart, you are prime for a predator to watch and grab you.
Katie and Lowell, what do you think about parents who leave the shopping cart in the middle of the parking lot because they've got a kiddo? Is it okay, or do they need to make it to the corral?
Honestly, it always needs to go to the corral, because you got to the store, you got out of your car, you grabbed your kids, you went and got the cart, right?
Yeah.
So why can't you reverse that process on the way back, grab your kids out of the car, and then go back to your car? It doesn't make any sense to me.
No, you're absolutely right. That's the way I feel about it. And as someone with a 6-month-old who frequently goes to stores by myself with him, I put him in the car seat. I walk the cart over real quick. I lock the door even if I really feel worried about it. You know how long it takes to get my kid into the car seat? There's no way anyone is snatching him that quickly.
Exactly.
Katie,
exactly. I'm saying.
A lot of people are afraid to talk about their political bullies because it can be dividing, but I would say talking about returning a shopping cart or not is the biggest divide in the world, because people will either agree or violently disagree with you.
No, you are. If you're not returning your shopping cart, I think it's out of pure laziness. That's my thought.
Katie said it, not me, but I agree.
Katie, you're awesome. Thanks for calling in this morning. We appreciate you, and I hope you have a great rest of your morning.
Thanks. You guys have a good one. Bye.
Jackie Muskegon, so what? You're kind of on the fence on this?
I'm 50-50. So I'm a single mom. I have 4 kids. My youngest is not even a year old. My oldest is 13. If I've got my oldest kid, I feel more secure of like, you know what? I got a minute. Let me put this cart away. I am way more vulnerable as a female, as a woman in general, okay, when I am by myself. If it is me or my children, screw the cart. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to put any extra thought into that. And I hate to say it like that. But there are times when I'm like, you know what, I feel kind of sketched out, or maybe somebody's lingering a little bit more than they should. So to disregard her and say, oh, trafficking's not an issue that we shouldn't worry about. No, definitely. I think she brings a valid point to the table to say, hey, my children come first. And I would never shame a woman for saying that.
You have an absolutely valid point. If your instincts say, hey, this is not a situation that I feel safe in, yeah, leave the cart every single time. But
yes, absolutely,
I think that there's
abandon ship.
Oh, yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right. Trust your gut, Mom. You know what's going on. But I think there's definitely situations where people are like, I'm scared. No, take your cart back. Be reasonable. Park near the corral.
I actually don't think that we should use it as a cop-out to not be generous.
Exactly.
Like you said. Okay, try and get yourself closer to a cart corral. All those things should be done first and foremost. Yes, absolutely.
So do you agree with Katie and Lowell or Jackie and Muskegon when it comes to returning the shopping cart when you got kiddos with you? Be part of the show and let us know. 616-600-0957 or in the Mix 95.7 app, you can DM us or send a voice message.